All right, so we have Emily Bletchfield giving us her 2025 debut, The Ugly Stepsister. Let's get right into it. Now, this film is a dark and twisted and a fairly comedic take on the Brother Grimm's version, as well as inspired by the director herself and her own self-experience as a body shame. A film that follows Elvira the Ugly One in a run against her stepsister, Agnes, or they call Cinderella in this, in a fairy tale kingdom where beauty is a brutal business. Fighting for the love's attention, they stop at nothing, a constant battle to become beautiful at any cost, even through the extreme surgical procedures ran out by coked out surgeons. Alright, now I just want to say that I really enjoyed this movie. Sort of just found myself, just kind of just kicking back. It has a very beautiful aesthetic about this film. We're going to get into the aesthetic. I thought the writing in this film was great. I think Emily Bletchfield and her directing was amazing. I thought these scenes of brutal business and just how brutal a business beauty can be, and just the way she pushes these scenes to the max was great. I think the first steps, and I'm not a Cinderella fan, but I think the first steps to make this movie feel like as if you are in this Cinderella story is the aesthetics, the look, the feel of the film. Because I think the artistic style of this film was a big part on making this a brilliant take. As they spray with all these vibrant blues and greens and pinks as they wave these feather fans, dancing in these competitions, backed by the amazing soundtrack of these beautiful violins that just fit this dreamlike aesthetic of the film. Not to mention these very fascinating macro shots of the process as they thread these needles directly through this woman's eyelids. Alright, now I really enjoy this whole idea of giving us the perspective through the ugly stepsister as she goes through a lot of different situations, from verbal abuse she takes from others, from just things she witnesses with her own eyes, and just the way she reacts in these situations. It really shows her emotions going from sad to happy to evil and revengeful, which really sparks a very powerful connection that you feel between her and her character. But despite her being this emotional and sensitive character, you can find some strength in her character as she does sort of take these punches from this verbal abuse, from these situations that she witnesses, as motivation, sort of just putting on this happy face, just rolling with the punches, taking these punches. All right, now this film does have a handful of comedy. The comedy that I did get from it comes a lot from this message of just how much of a brutal business beauty can be in this time of era. Now, my favorite scenes from this film had to have been when these coked out surgeons were threading these needles through this woman's eyelids, giving her these permanent eyelashes. Now, if beauty isn't brutal, I don't know what is. All right, now they're threading these needles through this woman's eyes. She screams in pain. It had to be one of my favorite scenes as these surgeons were coked out. And not just coked out, but they were doing coke as they were doing these procedures on this woman. And of course, the chopping off the foot had to have been one of my favorite scenes, as it was very twisted, but it was fairly comedic, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but they show you a lot more than you expect in this movie. You do not expect them to show you as much as they do, but trust me, you don't want to miss this one. But overall, really enjoyed the film. I sort of just found myself, kind of just kicking back, just really just admiring the film. But anyway, that was my review on The Ugly Stepsister. I definitely recommend you guys check this out. It should be on Shudder May 9th. So definitely have it then. Definitely, this is a must see, you guys. No matter what you think of Cinderella, and the film is really not like that. I mean, it gives you the Cinderella feel, but it's a very unique and beautiful dreamlike aesthetic.